Welcome to the Talk and Chatter Experience ASBK wrap-up show, brought to you by HJC Australia and Gasoline Alley Harley Davidson. After another fantastic weekend of racing at round 3 of the Australian Superbike Championship at Queensland Raceway, we took a bit of a wander around and had a chat to a fair few of the riders on Sunday evening as they were packing up. It was one of those weekends where every class basically broke lap records, and right from OJC right through to Superbikes, there was just some phenomenal racing. And if you have race weekends like that all the time, gee, the spectators would be certainly happy with what they've seen at Queensland Raceway. And that circuit just put on some fantastic racing, and just the facility that was around there with a great trade alley, and the spectators really embraced it. So sit back, have a bit of a listen to this wrap-up show. Our first guest is Glenn Allerton. Let's have a listen to what Glenn has to say.
Yeah, look, it was a promising weekend. We had a really good test here, and everything pointed towards us being strong. I just found that our one-lap pace was decent, but our long race pace we really struggled with. And it's a circuit where, you know, you got to brake really hard at those turn 3 and turn 6, those hairpins. You really got to still be able to carry your momentum, but it's a 180-degree turn. You got to take all that weight, turn it, send it back the other way. We struggled in those corners. The faster corners like turn 1 and turn 2, we were really strong in that race. In race 1, we had the fastest first sector of the race. So yeah, we have improvements to make on those slower second gear corners and just acceleration out of those corners. But I still feel like we improved. I mean, our lap time was better than last year. And if you look in the races, a lot of guys, I mean, a couple of guys improved, like Herfoss improved, but he's a different guy from last year. But guys like Mike, he went a little bit slower than he did last year, and I put that down to just the different tyre compound that we have now. I think last year's tyre probably produced a better race tyre overall than what we have now, but the tyre we have now produces a better fast lap, you know, the one lap pace. So it's just the way that it boiled down that we just didn't have our settings spot on for this, but racing is an ever-moving goalpost. You never just have it set in stone and concreted in and you just kick the ball at the same post every time. Otherwise it'd be easy. It's always moving, the target's moving, the tyres change, you've got to adapt. So that's what we have to learn to do better and move on to Darwin where we can be strong. 16 laps
at a place like this must be, I think Darwin would be just as physical. Hard acceleration, hard braking. Pretty physical places there.
Very physical. The physicality of this track, probably second to none with the heavy braking, and it's just repetitive. You brake really heavy into turn 1, even though it's one of the faster corners. You brake really heavy into turn 3, and then you repeat the process straight away for turn 4, and then you barely get a hold of yourself, and you're into turn 6 again. You got to brake really hard, and the weight distribution. I'd love to see some stats of data of how much weight is being pushed through the handlebars on the brakes at this track repetitively over and over, because if you're not prepared and you're not fit for a race like this, you would just fall to bits. So I kind of like that aspect of our racing, the physical side of it, and I feel like as we get into longer, like if we had longer races, I feel like it would benefit me. Because, you know, I'm probably bigger and a little bit stronger than a couple of the guys, like most of the guys out there. So I enjoy that aspect of it. I wish we had longer races, but yeah, Darwin is different. It's physically hard because of the heat. The heat just drains you and the humidity drains you, but this place, it's just raw. Grab the brake as hard as you can, back shift 3 gears, and then do it all over again. You got to do that 4 times a lap.
And you've got 16 of them, so it's a long one. What do you work on between now and then? Obviously, you're not going to tell us the details of everything, but what happens between now and moving up to Darwin in 5 weeks?
I'd like to do a test just try some big changes to the rear of the bike, just geometry changes, maybe not damping changes or spring rate changes, just change the geometry, try to get some rear grip feel and try to also get that longevity in the tyre, because like in that first race I showed that I had the pace to catch the leaders, and if I started with the leaders I wouldn't have to take so much out of the tyre, but you know, it's promising, everything we need is there, we just got to put all the pieces together with this package to get the most out of the tyre and not stress it too much. And I think we can do that. It's just a matter of putting the little pieces together. And I mean, it's refreshing to see Troy going as good as what he is. And what I can see is just confidence. And I would bet that the package itself hasn't changed that much. And I feel like I'm in the same sort of boat where I know if I get some confidence up, in the bike and more seat time, that I can do the same thing. So I get confidence from seeing how he's going so well.
For sure, and Darwin's been a good place to you in the past as well. So,
yeah, absolutely, and that physicality is something
deal.
that comes into the last couple of laps. It's always tough.
What's the ideal race distance? Say we did 16 laps here. Is it 20, 22?
I reckon 20 to 24, somewhere in that region. I mean, we're supposed to be professionals, and we come all this way. And I don't want to be negative in any way because I love our racing, but there's got to be an aspect of the show. Like, you know, if you have a race that's drawn out and nobody's battling, then okay, you probably want it to be shorter, but that race was a battle to the last lap in both races. So, like, in my opinion, we should be going longer distances so we can test the physicality of everybody here and your mental strength. And I would like to see the races be longer personally.
Makes sense. Well, mate, thank you for everything. And there's one thing that I will show you off air about a video of actually edge grip. So it'll be something you'd like to see. So
awesome,
mate. Have a safe travel home, and we'll see you probably in Darwin.
Thanks, Mick.
Thanks, mate.
Next up, we have Josh Newman in the Supersport 300 class, having a bit of a talk about his weekend up here at Queensland.
Yeah, we got off to a good start, qualifying 10th, the best of the year so far, and then race one, surprised myself a little bit, getting right to the front and leading a few laps. And then same thing happened in race two. Race three was a bit further behind in the pack, but charged my way through back to the front.
Mate, that we spoke of it yesterday afternoon, the exit of turn 5. You can see it as it's happening, like obviously a little bit of rev limiter, they catch you a little bit, but you've got the speed coming through the rest of the track, and your braking seems fantastic,
Yeah, we struggled with it all weekend. I think it's just we don't have the right gearing, not tall enough. We're just on the rev limiter through there. But we seem to be able to make it up down the back straight, and we've got some really strong sections with our bike. And I seem to be all right on the brakes.
Do you walk away from this weekend nice and happy?
Yeah, I'm super pumped with how I went compared to Eastern Creek. It's just getting better and better.
And it's just the confidence of that. You've got a little bit of time away from the rounds now. What do you do in between?
Gonna hopefully we try and race the 2 hour at St George, and then just do some track days. Racing my Harley next month with Evolution Sports Group, and just training, cycling, trying to ride my bike as much as I can.
Well, man, it's been awesome to watch you progress this weekend, because, like, obviously the first session came out really fast. Then the second session, chisel away to lead a race and be in that group was fantastic to watch. So thanks for your time today.
No problems.
Next up, it was Troy Herfoss, who had a perfect weekend up here at Queensland. Pole position and 2 race wins. You can't get better than that, and obviously Troy's on really good form. The team seem to be working well. So let's sit back and have a bit of a listen to what Troy has to say after he finished the races on Sunday afternoon. Tell us about your weekend, Troy Herfoss.
Geez, where do I start? It's yeah, we knew we were strong coming here. Like we started the year pretty good. Like Phillip Island's a tough track, and we got through it really well. It's been very hard. Did not overcook it with how well Josh has been riding. To try and keep doing my own thing has been very hard because he's been so dominant. And but coming here, we had a really good test, and I knew I had good speed. We've made some progress with myself and the bike, and yeah, so I knew I had to capitalise this weekend. But we're here at Mike Jones' land, and he's got nothing to lose. And look the way he rode, like, man, that was some titanic battles we just had, and I was in such a hard position because I didn't want to lose my championship, but I had to beat him because it was, 1 point for pole. If I'd have finished second in 2 races, it would have been, a 6-point gain. I would have been 30 points behind, or 29 points behind. So to get them 2 wins, it was so worthwhile to me to close the gap. And mate, I can't believe I got a perfect weekend. I really can't. I knew I'd have a chance of winning a race, but I just can't believe we got a perfect weekend. Yeah.
You said it at the podium, very rarely you get perfect weekends in your career. Do you know how many you had?
I know I had one at Morgan Park in the early days. I actually don't think I had one at Wakefield Park. I used to always go 2-1 or 1-2 with Wayne, and for a lot of years I had pole position point on him. So everyone would say I'm the Wakefield guy, but it was only because I had the pole position point. We actually always split wins. So I don't reckon. Yeah, I actually think it's just Morgan Park. Maybe one time in my career.
It's pretty rare, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting. Like, to see you come out here, and obviously QRRC was 5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You had pace here at that point too.
Yeah,
but
at that
that
point I
still
knew,
didn't
but
know.
yeah, the Mike was also on a practice bike.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know
Yep.
what his jump would be. And so coming into the weekend, I knew no matter how Mike rode, we were going to be racing on Sunday because I know he's good here. I know he's calculated. I know he'll work towards something.
Yep.
I was a little bit more gung-ho on Friday, and I wanted to prove to everyone that I was fast enough.
Yep.
Because I haven't been there yet. I haven't showed that raw speed needed to win.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm just glad we ticked all the boxes.
Mate, you've got a fantastic history of motorsport and dirt track and road racing. How's that battle go down for you in history? It's a
Yeah,
pretty
like I
damn
said to
good one.
Mike, I'm like, look, if that was Sydney that championship race, that was equally as good. It's just that it wasn't for a championship. So it sort of doesn't mean as much. I feel like I got one back on him today, but that race, because it meant so much to us both, and I'll be honest, I will still remember that race probably over these ones, just because we were racing for a championship.
Yep.
And we both just threw everything at it. And the best man won on that day. And yeah, I feel like I had a little bit on him this weekend,
Yep.
I think. But in saying that, it was sort of luck of the draw there at the end. Like, we had to really both fight for it. Thank you. We had to really both fight for it. So you can't really say one was much better than the other. It was so close. But it definitely is a race I'll never forget. And I do enjoy the races with Mike because he's becoming more aggressive, but he's always so calculated.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that part of racing. That's the reason I race a motorbike, is because of that. Not because I want to win by 10 seconds. I love when you're in a battle with someone, and I love that feeling of being in a battle, the adrenaline of it, and when it all comes down to the wire, yeah, it's just the best feeling.
Sportsmanship, mate.
Yeah.
That's what we're all about, and
Yeah.
to see the sportsmanship between the pair it's pretty damn cool. And
Yeah.
it's turning into one of those rivalries that's got a few years in it.
I hope
It's
so,
pretty solid.
yeah. And like when you look at what's happening, we're going to a track now that I've been really good at in the past.
Yes.
Josh has been dynamite in the past, and thank you. And recently Mike's been dynamite there.
Yeah.
So we're going to a track that, we've had tracks that suited Josh, and then here for Mike and I'm here. I like this track as well, and now we're going to a track where all three of us probably are going there thinking we can win. And that's always makes for a good fun battle.
Mate, that's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
So.
And you know what? Not even just us. You've got Glenn and young Max Stauffer, and I'm forgetting people. Brian Starring, all these guys. There's more. There's
Crew.
always crew.
Yeah.
Sorry, I knew I was leaving someone out. Last year we were all fast, so it's going to be it's shaping up to be a great championship.
What do you do between now and then? That's 5 weeks away. What's Troy Herfoss doing?
I'm absolutely all in as a professional motorbike rider. I'm riding the motocross bike 3 times a week. I'm working on the bike after it. I'm doing my gym. I'm doing some cycling, and I've got 2 kids at home now. So putting a lot of stress on my wife because I'm so much into my racing at the moment. But I'm pretty lucky because Emily's been a competitive athlete, and she knows what it takes to do good. So she's all in as well. So she's at the track with me at the motocross track, and pushing me along.
It's family racing once again.
Yeah.
Mate, thank you very much. And we'll see you in a few weeks.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Cheers, bud.
Cheers, mate.
Next up was Crew Halliday, who also had a fantastic weekend here up in Queensland. It was one of those tracks where I thought Crew would really succeed well, and he obviously did. Just that riding style that we see with Crew, and just if you get a chance to spectate down any of those hard braking areas, the bike's just sideways and Crew's in total control. So let's have a listen to what Crew has to say.
Yeah, weekend went pretty good. It's the first time I've ever put on the podium here, so we had pretty good pace. It's just the same old story with me, lacking starts. I need to sort of speak to the team, and we need to come up with something because I think I'm losing so much energy at the start of the race trying to play catch back up. But it is what it is. But I was pumped for the team. We got two third positions and a bit of an unlucky situation there at the end. I went to congratulate Troy, and just both our paths crossed at the wrong time, and we just come in contact with each other, and my brake lever just sort of bumped him and basically wedged me sideways and pitched me. But other than that, good weekend, good bunch of points, and looking forward to heading up north.
Mate, this seems like one of those tracks that would really suit your riding style. It's that sort of aggressive sort of track with a hard brake, really good acceleration, and supermoto rider for many years.
Yeah.
Is it though?
I know what you're thinking. I know exactly what you're saying, but for some reason, it's like when I go quicker, these other guys are going quicker, and I just can't get that extra little bit. It's such a weird track because it's one of those things where it's like you try to go faster and you end up going slower. And then you come out here, the next day your mind's fully reset, you've had a sleep, thought about it, you come out here, you're relaxed, you go quick, then next session you go slower. It's because you put pressure on yourself to try to go faster. But man, the longer I've been in this class, I'm starting to like the faster flow and stuff like Phillip Island and Eastern Creek, and I don't know why I'm trying to work it out, but I can't even sort it out myself.
What do you do between now and Hidden Valley?
Well, I just said to the team, the guys then, probably get a practice bike off them, do some laps around Eastern Creek. I think they might even get me up here, maybe even come back to Queensland Raceway. It's pretty close, not close, but it's similar corner style to Darwin. Got those long sweepers, and we usually have a hit out here before we go up there, but man, I've got to go back to work, got a mortgage to pay, just living the normal life for a bit, and get on my pushy, probably ride some motocross, and might even have a party here or there, never know.
Unreal, mate. It's been great to watch anyway.
Thanks,
You've had
bro.
a good weekend, and we'll see you in Hidden Valley.
Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
Brian Starring took the time out to have a bit of a chat to us after the weekend. It was a bit of a tough one for him up here in Queensland, and you can hear it as we sat down to have a bit of a discussion at the end of Sunday evening. So let's have a listen to what Brian has to say about his weekend.
Massive frustrations this weekend. We came here super optimistic, and I'd say that the momentum and the trajectory of our team since we started in February has been the momentum has been building really rapidly, and whilst I haven't had a super impressive race yet this year, I feel like I've had the pace to get some big results that I haven't quite achieved. And then this weekend was just the complete opposite of that. We never had the pace from the start, and I never really found it. So if anything, as the weekend progressed, we actually seemed to find less speed. So look, back to the drawing board there. At this stage, I just want to say there's nothing more than a really bad weekend, and sometimes it happens. But really I know I sort of want to apologise to the guys because I don't know where it went wrong, but I guess the guys are good. We win and lose together as a team, and this weekend we didn't have it.
What's it take to be fast at a track like this? It's a weird track to be fast at, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Weird as in difficult, I mean,
Yeah, I guess the difficult part is not rushing the corners, because this track just tricks you into braking so late all the time. And I'm going to say that in the past it's how I found the lap time, but I haven't been able to capitalise, I think, the way that I would normally ride the motorbike like that here. So it's a funny one, this track. You need big brakes, you need big horsepower, but you also need big grip. And whilst the layout's really, really simple, it's actually one of the most difficult places to be fast and competitive.
Strange, isn't it?
It is very strange.
What do you do between now and 5 weeks' time, Hidden Valley?
Yeah, so we need to get a little bit of a testing program together to get back on the motorbike, but which we don't exactly have yet. But at some stage we'll probably fit a ride in between now and then. I don't know exactly where it's going to be. The truck's on its way back to Melbourne tonight, and I'm heading back to Perth.
Yep.
But at some point we'll ride before Darwin, and that's it. There's no exact plan just now.
Cool. Well, mate, thanks for your time.
No worries, thank you.
Next up, we get to talk to Ty Lynch and discuss his weekend in the Supersport class, which was one of these weekends where it's such a hardly fought class, and Ty rode extremely well. So let's have a bit of a listen to what Ty has to say.
Look, I'm gonna go off the deep end. It wasn't a fantastic weekend, but we consolidated at the end of the day.
Yep.
Valuable points, but could have definitely been better. That's for sure.
Race 1, huge moment on the exit turn 2. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I just gave her the berries and hoped for the best, really. In my mind, we could have won race 1. And that's what I was going for. I gave it a good run out of 1, ran up on Ollie in turn 2, and just, gave it a bit much throttle on the exit. And, just about went to orbit, but saved her.
Saved it and made some positions back as well. It was pretty much get straight back on the throttle. Was it the last lap or the second last lap?
No, it was the last lap,
lap,
So I got pipped for 4th. So I was in 4th and then, made a dive in the last corner. Yeah, ended up third in the first race, which was great, but yeah.
Tell us about race 2.
Oh, look, race 2 was a little bit of it was a stab in the dark. We made some changes. Yeah, they just weren't the right ones, unfortunately. Yeah, so we, as frustrating as that is, it's sort of, we don't take it lightly, neither do the boys at Michelin. So they know we've got a job at hand to do now, and we're not going to make the same mistake twice.
So now you've got a couple of months between rounds. What do you do?
Well, we've got 2 months or 3 months almost. So obviously, as a lot of people know, we're going to do the AFTN, so we're going to do the Flat Track Nationals. So for me, that's going to be a valuable step in the right direction with bike time. We've got a lot of testing organised for the next 2 months on the road bike as well. So I think just bike time is most important. Yeah, we've got a lot to test with the bikes themselves, but I don't think there's any drastic changes that need to be made. We're in the window. Today we went just a step out of it, and it was not the right one.
There's no replacement. Like, it's an old saying, but there's no replacement for time actually on the bike, is it?
No, that's exactly right. And a lot of people miss that sometimes. I'm very fortunate where I can have 4 or 5 months off the bike and still get on it and do okay. Obviously, I'm not going to perform like I am at the moment, but I don't seem to be too far off. So it doesn't take much for me, and I think I'm lucky like that. But yeah, some people don't understand. Like, bike time's the most valuable aspect of riding the bike altogether. When it comes to racing, you need seat time.
100%. Well, mate, thanks for your time. Safe travels back home. When do you head home tonight?
Yeah, no, so back home tomorrow, I think midday tomorrow. So, get a nice rest, get to watch the GP tonight. That's, sit down, study that.
This won't come out before then, but who's your tip for tonight?
Ooh, tip for tonight. It's interesting. I haven't done a whole lot of watching it over the weekend, but I'm gonna say I'd like to see Pedrosa and Miller on the podium. Of course, I want to see Jack win. Yeah. That's my tip for it. But I think Pedrosa's going to be out the front as well. Yeah, it'll be exciting to see. So thanks for your time, mate, and we'll see you at the next one. No worries, buddy. Cheers. Cheers.
Our next guest is Max Stauffer, so let's hear what Max Stauffer had to say about his weekend.
Yeah, look, Friday started off really tough. Even Saturday morning wasn't easy. I was struggling. I was doing the same time every lap around, and I just couldn't seem to make any time up whatsoever. But, I seemed to find something come qualifying time, and I was able to do my PB lap and put me in P5, which is a personal best finish in qualifying for me, which I was really happy about. I was maybe 0.3 off the front row and half a second off pole, so for me that's really good. And I had 2 really strong races. It's the closest I've finished to the race leader. Race 1 was 9 seconds, even with a mistake, and and my best finishing position, which was P6, so I'm really happy.
Mate, to sit here, I don't know if you remember, but 12 months ago we were talking about the same sort of things about being here and that, and we're talking about electronics, and it was your first year in Superbike last year, and it was a frustrating time actually here at QR for you last year. It's night and day from last year watching you as a rider change. Tell us about the change over the year. Look, it's sort of makes me so happy. In this race last year, I finished 50 seconds behind the race leader. Now I'm finishing 9 seconds behind the race leader, and I'm battling with people, so that's really good. But we're just getting the Motec so much better, and I'm so happy we've stuck with it. Dad's putting in countless hours on it to try and get it better for me, and it really is showing. I hope it's showing as we're getting closer to the front, and I still think there's a lot to gain on it, and I think there's a lot that me and Dad have to learn. I'm still not riding the best. I need to fix up a lot of things that I do, and just in general, we need to get the bike better. So I think we've got a lot of time to gain. Mate, you've rocked up at every racetrack this year so far and been competitive. You've been within way better than last year and within the limits of the other riders. That must be, even just that, every time you go out, it's not just Sydney Motorsport Park, or it's not just this, every time. Must feel good. 100%. I think a lot of people sort of maybe thought, over summer he's going fast at Eastern Creek, that's all he'll be fast at, but to go to Phillip Island and qualify in the front row and be competitive and actually have a better meeting at Phillip Island than what I did at Eastern Creek was really positive, and I hope, after having a good meeting at Phillip Island and going really well here, has proved to a lot of people that, I'm not here just to make up the numbers, and I'm here to try my best and get as close to the front as possible. I want to do well, and that's why I turn up every time and work as hard as I do. Mate, you're doing very well, and we see you working hard, and it's paying back because 9 seconds from 50. The results are there, so man, well done. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, mate. Cool, Max. Appreciate it, mate.
After speaking with Max, we found Tom Bramich, who was just loading his last bike into the trailer. So Let's hear what Tom Bramich had to say about his weekend up here in Queensland.
Yeah, up and down.
Yep.
Started really well. I had good pace in all the practices.
Yep.
We had a test here a few weeks ago and we knew that we were going to be in good shape.
Yep.
So the practice went really well, really smooth, which is what we wanted.
Yep.
Qualifying one was good, went fast I've ever been here. 0.00 nothing off the lap record. Duncan just pipped me up the end, which was a bit of a shame, but he was riding really well. So we weren't too fussed about that. We had a good pace and front row start. And then this morning, we did all our usual checks last night with the clutch and the bike and servicing and whatnot. But this morning we didn't get a warm up because of the wet
That's
weather.
right. Yeah, yep.
And in hindsight, that really hindered us because we went into the race and we had a mechanical problem that I had to ride around all race and I salvaged 10th, which was so disappointing after where we'd been all weekend long. And then, yeah, we fixed it for race 2 and I finished 3rd, which I wasn't stoked about either, but yeah, after this morning it wasn't too bad. Some points on the board and another podium, which was nice, but yeah, really wanted to win this weekend, so looking forward to the next one already.
I asked Max Stauffer just before about track tent.
Yeah.
Got awfully hot the second one.
Yeah.
Did that play any part to it? Because it just seemed, the pace didn't seem to be there as much in race 2.
Yeah, the pace definitely wasn't there. I couldn't understand it either because I looking at my lap time and thinking, when's this lap going to come?
That's right, yeah.
But it's the same for everyone because we were at the front and, you know, I'm sure if we could all do 11.1 or whatever we did, 11.2 yesterday, we would have. But the pace was sort of more or less like 11.7 to 12, low 12, 12.2.
Yeah,
Which was strange, but I don't know, maybe the Aussie racing cars had something to do with it because Supersport seemed to be like the first big, it was like OJC, then Supersport after the Aussie racing cars.
Yep.
And on the Friday, we didn't have that. On Friday and on Saturday morning, we didn't have that. And because I know Saturday afternoon for the qualifying, it was strange as well. Everyone expected to go faster. I'd only done 4 laps on my tyres, saving them for the afternoon, thinking it'd be the faster session. So that was a bit strange too, whether that came into play, I'm not sure, whether the temperature, the wind picked up as well.
It did,
I didn't actually catch any Superbike times, I just watched the race, but whether they were as fast as I'm not sure.
I was down filming, so I missed that as well. I didn't commentate that one, so...
But it'd be interesting to have a look back through them, but those boys are always within a few tenths anyway, they're so on it.
Yep.
It's crazy, but yeah, I felt, a little bit of a missed opportunity, but still happy with, you know, sometimes you've got to look back in these moments to see where you are, you know, like where we come from to where we are now. Like, to be disappointed is probably a good thing.
Yep.
Like, you know, maybe a year ago I would have been stoked with this, so.
Yeah, that's right. Come a long way in that time, and to see that what happened at turn 4 on that first race, you still made the best of the bad situation.
Yeah.
You know, like there was a few positions lost, but you gained a few positions back on those 2 last laps.
Yeah.
So that was okay too.
Yeah, no, I knew every point's going to matter come the end of the championship. Like, we're not even really thinking about the championship anymore. We just want to go fast, win some races, and whatever happens, happens from now on. Like can't control what we've already done. It's already behind us. So, but yeah, the turn 4 was, it's easy. It's easy to just blame the bike and whatever, but sometimes that's the reality. And
it's
like that's racing. So, you know, it's a team sport. There's a bike, the team, the rider, and if one of those things falters, then the result isn't going to be there, is it? So, disappointing, but recovered, I suppose.
Tell us about the Q1 time. That pace, right?
Yeah.
That's insane. Like, that is such a fast pace to be out here. What's it feel like riding around this place at that pace?
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
It actually felt really, like, it's never comfortable when you're qualifying, but it felt, easy's not the right word, but when you're in the flow, it just works, you know, and you got new tyres, you're super focused for that few laps that you've really got to get down, get your times down. And yeah, I did have a bit of a reference, like a bit ahead of me, which helped as well. But yeah, I didn't think I'd come here and do 12.2 and, you know, really close to that record. So, and to be honest, I actually felt like our plan was to do 3 laps, get a banker, sit out, go hard in the next one and go faster. But we didn't. in hindsight, I should have just kept going because I think there was a high 10 in me for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, when we looked at the data, there was a few mistakes. Got balked, had to roll off.
Yep.
So everyone's always,
For sure.
there's never a perfect lap. Like everyone's always got their tenths that they could have done better or worse, whatever. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see a 10 next year.
Wow. Mate, it's an exciting time and
Yeah.
super sport category. Damn, it's heavy.
I'm loving being a part of it because I feel like we've copped a bit of flack really, like in the distant past and like even a little bit recently and stuff, you know,
For sure.
with not being fast enough and people coming in and smoking us like Voight and people like that. But it's really good to see, like, I think on Saturday there was like 10 of us within a second.
Yep.
And the front guys were all within half a tenth of that record. So that's pretty cool. Like, that's good. The level's improved.
Yep.
The talent's always been there.
Yeah.
You know, the team's probably getting better. But everyone's just stepping up, it's awesome. Like, it's good to be part of. I'm really loving it at the moment.
It's a great time to be in Supersport. Like,
Yeah.
you know, same, like all the ranks through OJC, Supersport 300, Supersport. Like, if they're all healthy, the next 10, 20 years of our sport's going to be healthy.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's competitive. It's on lap record pace,
Yeah.
below lap record pace, and what else do you need?
Yeah.
That's it. So, and good racing. So.
Yeah, no, exactly. And yeah, it's healthy all the way through the championship at the moment. Like, if anything, it'd be awesome to see a few more superbikes, really, because like when you think back to like the Bend last year when it's so stacked, and there's like, it's hard to get in the top 15, like that's cool. That's what ASBK needs. So it'd be awesome to see a few, like that's my goal, to get to superbike. Like I want to be part of that. I think that's why everyone's here. So that'd be an awesome dream.
I've banged on about it for a few years now. It's pride in the Australian Superbike Championship too.
Yeah.
It's a huge thing to win.
Yeah.
And if you win one of them, it's bloody unreal. You
Yeah.
win two, you know what I mean? And
I think
that's really there. You know?
100%. And like for me, like I'm proud of. I think everyone should be proud to be an ASBK rider.
For sure.
Because like when people get out the championship and you know discredit it, that's not good for anyone. That's not good for sponsors. It's not good for factories. It's not good for riders, teams. Everyone involved. It's not good, and everyone here deserves the credit. Like, especially like the top superbike riders, they'd be the best in the world anywhere they went.
Yeah.
So, like I actually get really annoyed when people discredit ASBK because I think everyone's at a really high level.
For sure.
And I'm proud to be part of it. I've got no plans on going anywhere because I want to be an Australian champion.
Yeah, and I like the saying, so Tony Quinn that has this place, about this place, people knocking it, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, if you're doing lap records every time, you can knock it.
Yeah.
But if you're not doing lap records, don't say it's boring.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's fair down enough. You
And,
know? So-
and it's so, like it looks so simple, but it's so hard because everyone can go more or less fast.
Yeah.
But to find those last few tenths is so hard.
Yeah.
And I think this track's actually really technical. Like, maybe for the punt day rider that's doing 2 minutes around here, it might be a bit boring. But when you're doing a minute 11 or minute 10 or Superbike's doing minute 7, it's like, that's insane. So,
yeah, it's ballistic. So, it's a good place. And I'll tell you what, crowd-wise, the whole event this weekend has been unreal.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Queensland
the
always
facilities
does.
as well.
Yeah.
Taking a massive step up, like that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, and it's, like the ASBK, it's good, like, because now, like, this is the standard. Like, all the tracks need to, like, sort of improve, you know? Like, I don't know, I just feel like ASBK should be put on a bit of a pedestal and, like, I'm sure V8s, they've got bargaining power. Like, we should be able to have that too.
For sure. Yeah, and have the racing
cool
like this.
tracks, good facilities.
Look at this place. Like, we're sitting out here tonight. It is, like, one of the best facilities. It's probably on par with the best facility in
this would have to
Australia.
do Phillip Island.
I think so.
And Phillip Island's the best track in the world, which it is, but the facilities compared to, like, you know, it's awesome that these tracks like this are stepping up.
Yeah, it's good. Well, mate, what do you do now? You head home tonight?
Yeah, drive home tonight.
Oh, jeez.
Not looking forward to it.
Thanks heaps, mate. Appreciate that. And I'll see you at Morgan Park, unless I'm in Melbourne sometime before then.
And if you are, Salah.
Will do. Thanks, mate.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Cheers, mate.
Mike Jones was the last person that we got to see up here on the Sunday night. Just as the sun had set, it was getting pretty cold out here at Queensland Raceway. Let's see what Mike has to say about his weekend up here, having some fantastic battles, obviously, with Troy Herfoss.
Mate, it honestly was a really great weekend. Start of the weekend, we were definitely, missing a couple tenths to the guys at the front there. I was sort of running around the third, fourth mark there, but just missing that little bit to the guy at the front. But it all turned around there on Saturday. We were able to find something that, something in the setting that gave me a little bit more confidence, and was able to find those extra couple of attempts come qualifying, and that put us, P2 on the grid, which is really critical here to be able to, start on the front row. And so come the race day, made really, really good starts in both races, whole-shotted both races, and got to the lead. And I think that was actually quite important because I was sure that Troy's pace was quite good and maybe a little bit better than what we had. So it was important to sort of be in front and just sort of control the race from the front a little bit, knowing that once it come to the end, like it was just going to be a dogfight as to who was going to be able to make the right sort of chess move for the win and do it. Both races came down to the last corner, but really satisfied. Coming away with second place in both races and second overall for the weekend, still really satisfied because I felt like I rode, at 100% and left everything that I could out on the track.
Yep.
So it was also too just a really entertaining race. Like, it's been a long time, I think, since I've had a real sort of hard fought, challenging race like that where you're battling. You know what I mean? Like, especially for probably about half race distance to the end. Like, we were trading places heaps there, so it was actually quite a lot of fun. And like I said, ultimately gave it my best, gave it 100%, and finished, challenged for the win. Came up with 2 second places, and it was a great weekend in front of the home crowd.
Bucket load of points.
100%.
Walk away with a bucket load of points as well. And
that's it.
When you talk about setup, is this something you've been missing from the start of the year, or is it just something just for this track?
I think something just more so for this track in particular. We were quite quick at, City Motorsport Park,
Yep.
the previous round, so I don't think it was something not so much there. But just particularly this circuit, just the nature of it, where it's heavy on the brakes and just transitioning from the front to the rear on the bike in the middle of the corner. So just trying to find that balance between needing the support to be able to stop the bike well on the brakes, but then also making sure that you've got the right amount of weight to the rear of the bike,
Yep.
in the middle of the corner to start driving off to the exit. So it's just finding that sweet little balance point with the bike, and we came up with that, I think, pretty well on Saturday.
Yeah, it's a game of science, isn't it? Like, talking to a fair few of the riders, and that's one of the big things, trying to get weight from front to back and accelerate. It's such a crucial activity, obviously.
100%, and I think too, like, from a riding point of view, I was really focused on one area of the motorcycle and the sensation that I was getting from it, but it was almost sort of like leading us down the garden path a little bit. The area that we actually really needed to work on was in the opposite direction. So that's what took us sort of a little while to get on top of it. Typically we're able to work through these things pretty quickly on Friday, but it took us till Saturday to get on top of it. And like I said, it's just it can be a finicky thing sometimes, but that's what makes racing what it is.
Yeah, it does. It's a pretty damn special sport, and seeing right from OJC up to Superbike, it was an awesome weekend here of racing. So, who's your tip for MotoGP tonight? We'll wrap this up here because you want to get home on Sunday night. So do I. So
look,
what do you reckon?
Who's going to win the race? Look, I'm confident that Aleix Espargaro, I think he had quite good pace, so I'm tipping him for the win.
Cool, done. Thanks, mate.
Cheers, mate. Thanks.
That's all we have time for in this ASBK wrap-up show. Thank you to all the riders that took the time out to have a chat on the Sunday evening after the races. And if you're sitting back listening or viewing this show, I hope you get a real insight from what the riders are saying and basically get a little bit more out of what we hear and see and feel from the weekend of actually being at the circuit. So if you do enjoy it, make sure you hit subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're more than happy to hear about feedback or how we can improve it or anything like that. So hope you enjoy it, and we'll be back with another show really soon.